88 and that 89 and all of those games, every single one of those games, especially for an established franchise, sold over 3 million units. Now, the lowest selling one out of all of those was Astral Chain.
There we go. There we go. There we go. Hey there, guys. Sorry I've been away for so long. So long. So long. I'll be honest, not a lot has happened. I literally just needed to take some time. I got super depressed like in the middle of the month. Couldn't really do a lot. So I went back and forth to work, but yeah, it is what it is. You keep trying to get through it. While I was gone, I posted some comics and stuff that I didn't draw on screen, so all of that stuff's been posted, and it is up. It's live. I mute myself so I don't have an echo. I don't know why it's saying that I'm streaming or talking about Nier, because I'm not. And this is what happens when I don't update my stuff for like a couple of weeks. What's up, Sans? How you doing, brother? What you got going on? Why can you only talk for 20 minutes? And it better involve a woman. That's all I gotta say. Better involve a girl. If it doesn't, I hope it involves that job that you've been after. And if it doesn't, you got some splaining to do. And where would I go to find that out, sir? Unless you're streaming. Ooh, excuse me. Get this. Damn.
Brother Blood.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Fabulous. So what's going on, man? What you been up to? Let me.
Well, first I want to say, Jesus Christ, your mic worked first try.
Hey, win some, we lose
But
some. Sometimes we do the right thing.
second, I want to say, yes, it does involve a woman. It is this thing called a date.
Oh, you're calling me in the middle of a date right now?
No, I'm calling you before one.
Oh, okay. All right. I was supposed to be incredibly disappointed with your date because that's terrible. I mean, she's not that interesting. You should leave and
Well,
probably
yes.
not pay the check.
Oh God, the French would not approve of that one.
I don't care about the French, bro. This is America. The
You don't
dates,
care, but she does. She's French.
good for her. Here's the thing. Over on your side of the pond, there, my good buddy, there's a certain amount of decorum. You guys do this thing called split and check. We don't do that over here, which we should, to be quite honest. But
I'm sorry, you American hillbilly.
it's not my fault. I didn't put that into place. Anyway, how you doing, bro? Hey, what's good?
So basically, I broke up with my ex a week and a half ago now.
Oh, so you finally did that thing that I told you to do, and you've been sitting on it like it's a fucking goose egg. Congratulations. I'm glad you've
Well,
grown up.
I'm sorry that she found out she was clinically depressed and had anxiety, ADHD, and a whole bunch of other shit because she decided to fail her exams.
What does it have to do with you or me?
Jumping off a cliff.
There you go. Hey,
That was solely the only reason.
anyway, so you're fixing to go on a date with another young lady. Congratulations. What's she like? She cute. She better be cute.
Eh. Yes. Also, the one from last night that you saw was so weird.
I didn't see anything.
Yes, you did. You saw messages.
Oh, the ones you sent to me direct.
Yeah, the ones I sent to you that was like, that definitely has to be some sort of trap. Yeah, it got weirder than that. Apparently, she doesn't know my friend. She added me off randomly,
Hmm.
which is even worse.
Hmm. Hmm.
Has a brain condition, which is kind of interesting, and does professional and is a student at dance, which is kind of cool, but also kind of not. And she's like from my old area, not my new area. Yeah.
Damn. Well, good luck. I guess. I don't know what to tell you on that one, my friend. That one's outside of my scope of support. That's what I say at my job.
All I'm saying is that my life is currently funky, and
Everybody's
that's all I know.
okay. Okay. Fair enough. Fair enough. Oh my goodness, dude. So Sora in Smash, it's confirmed.
What?
Bro, watch the stream. Watch the stream right now. Playing
Yes,
video.
I'm seeing it. I've got lag.
Oh, you. Oh, wait. Well, you might wanna. You might wanna enjoy that lag for a hot minute, bro, because his entrance is pretty good. It's pretty good.
I'm seeing Splatoon character. Shy.
Everybody thought it was.
No, don't buffer on me. Don't buffer on me.
Everybody thought it was gonna be like a fucking Dark Souls character, because he walks up to an ember and he just pulls it out. Oh, it tells me that I have viewers now. That's nice. Yay.
Also, Twitch got hacked. That was funny.
I thought that shit was hilarious. Actually, I was just like, well, motherfuckers have been telling you for years.
Surprised it hasn't happened way sooner.
Oh, it probably did. It just wasn't to this extent. But now, like, everybody's financials is out, and and
Yeah.
and like everybody's getting super mad at Hassan Piker. But it's like, motherfucker owns a house, a $3 million house in, uh, you know, East LA, California money. That's like a five
He's
hundred.
he, he's kind of got to be loaded. I'm sorry.
But see, that's the thing. For him to, if you saw his house is no bigger than the house that I'm living in with my roommates. It's not a big house. When people hear 300, $3 million house, you're expecting like a fucking mansion. His house is not that big. He has a regular size house, just
But
in
isn't it where it's at?
yeah, the property value. The first of all, he lives in a place where motherfuckers are like stars, movie stars live around him, and most of them have. big ass houses. So the property value, even in the place where he's at, is obscene. And he lives in an area where regular ass people live. So $3 million ain't that much. The problem that this kid is facing is that he's like, oh, I'm a socialist, and everybody's like, oh, well, you should be, trying to figure out a way to make sure everybody has. And it's like, no, motherfucker, that's not how that shit works. Like, you can't just tell somebody to go through and do a fucking socialism on themselves when they have to work and they have the means of production. His whole thing is the worker should own the means of production. He owns the means of production that has afforded him a life that he can buy a fucking house. It doesn't say anywhere in any Marxist or any other socialist rhetoric that you should live poor. It's just the worker should own how shit is made. If I work in a factory with you and 2,000 other people, one dude sitting at a fucking desk isn't the guy that should be owning the means of that production. You and I and the other thousands of people that work there, we should own that means of production. That's what he's espousing. That's what he's living by. He is the worker. He owns his YouTube and Twitch channels. He's making that money. He should reap the benefits of it. He's reaping the benefits of it. There's no hypocrisy there. I don't understand what the point these other people make when they say that this dude's being a hypocrite. Doesn't make sense to me. But that is what it is.
Yeah, how people love to complain about things that aren't in their control.
Well, shit, that ain't their business.
That's true too.
Cause let's be honest. Um, this motherfucker was living in a 5 bedroom apartment. They wouldn't have said shit. Hell, if they had found out that this man was living on the street, they wouldn't have said shit either. And that's the thing that he's getting at. He's like, yo, when I wasn't living right, you weren't. None of you people were there. And when I was on, the Young Turks doing my thing there, none of you people were there. So now, what gives you the right to come up and say what I can and cannot do with my money that people give him? Most of this stuff's donation.
I'm not gonna lie, that is the problem with donations in and of themselves, especially Twitch. People forget just because you donate to someone on Twitch does not mean you automatically get to choose what like the money goes towards. This is why you got to understand where you're putting your money. Facts from a young man.
Agreed. And that is from an old man. Speaking of,
Blue.
an old lady had a game come out last night. Your girl Samus Aran got her fifth entry in her series, and that shit is fire. It is not easy. It's hard as fuck, man. I've been playing it for a couple of hours before I got on stream today, and oof, this woman is. I couldn't do her job. I could not do
You ain't got the balls
it.
for it.
Oh yes. Speaking of which, they don't fucking give you the morph ball right out the gate. They literally
Rip.
like
Rip.
they're
Rip.
like they're like, bitch, you no, you sliding. And you're like, but like, why though? And then when you get the morph ball, you kind of like, I kind of want to go back to slide. I say that, but
Hey, Blue. What's kicking, Blue?
hey girl,
What's blue, Blue?
hey girl, how are you doing?
Hey, Sister Soul, Sister Rose.
Oh, we're talking about Twitch getting hacked, and we're talking about Sora being in Smash, and now you have a reason to buy a Switch. Um,
That was sly. That was
you're
sly.
girl. I'm telling you, you're
That
missing
was
out.
sly.
You're missing out, cause
I actually kind of have to play Smash now, but I also want them to release a new version of Splatoon because I've never actually got to play that game.
I think there's a third one fixing to come out. Hold on,
Watch it be so dead now that I said I want it.
let me, Blue. Let me show you why I'm super excited about this. I've played this trailer already, but I'm gonna play it again because you showed up, and it makes me so happy. Like the fact that this is even happening means that fucking Disney got off of their ass and saw the money and was like, you know what? Why not? Also, they're releasing the entire Kingdom Hearts series in a cloud form on the Switch, but that's not the point here. Point here is that you're gonna get a Switch then, right? If you've already seen the trailer, then you're gonna get a Switch, right? You should really get a Switch, right? They're only $200.
I swear, you sly dog.
And that's if you buy it used. You get a brand new one.
I dog. You're gonna cause this woman grief. You realize that, right?
See, I got mine and then I modified it. You see that little lion's paw there? It's a little lion's paw. I put that on there myself.
Isn't the little blood happy that he can now modify his tech without being attacked or sued?
I am actually quite pleased with this. Look at this. I died, but I can put this in my backpack and take it wherever I want to go.
Well, the thing is now you can soon turn that into a tiny little itty bitty pocket computer.
I don't really, not really that that interested. I want the fucking analog sticks not to drift. That's really what I want. That's really
Yeah,
what
that is the problem with the Switch.
Oh my goodness, what have you been up to, Blue? I haven't spoken to you in a couple of days. Are you well? I don't think you have to work today, right? This woman is losing her mind. I was just watching this legal this guy that talks about the legalese um, behind this entire uh, endeavor, and one of the things he pointed out is like the only reference to Disney that you see is a reference that you probably will not see like at all, and that's on Sora's Keyblade. The station of Destiny, the little area where there's the stained glasses. That's what that's called. Most of those stained glasses have, in the original versions, have the Disney characters, and they've all been removed. Which means Disney was like, you could use Sora, but only Sora, but make no reference to anything else. So I'm pretty sure that Square is 100% on on this, but everybody else is like, we're gonna stay away, which I'm totally fine with. I keep forgetting we kind of have the same days off now, which means we can go out and get sushi or tacos. Eh, eh, eh. He says in his most annoying voice.
Blood, just because you're fixing to waste money doesn't mean everyone else is.
I owe her long overdue and yet unclaimed birthday dinner. So that's mostly her, not me. And she's been putting off going out and claiming this birthday dinner for a year and a half now. So um, the lady is at fault in this particular scenario. Speaking of ladies, sir, where are you taking this young lady that you're going to be seeing this evening?
That's my problem.
You should probably solve that here within like the next 10 minutes, bro.
It'll probably just be like something casual, some coffee and something.
What time is it
I
where you
don't
are?
even drink coffee. Time to learn to drink coffee.
No, they should have tea. Where are you? What time is it where you are right now?
I know.
Huh?
It's huh?
I asked what time it was and you started speaking and then you cut out.
It's 5:35.
Oh, dude, just like take her to a place to get some sandwiches. Like do some light sandwiches. Also, tea. Do you not like tea?
No, I don't like tea, coffee, hot chocolate, the whole shebang. Like,
Dude,
I don't even really like fizzy drinks, bro.
what kind of child were you? Who raised you? I kid. I'm sure your mother's nice. Oh, that reminds me. What was I doing earlier? I actually need to start making you guys' masks. I started freeing up my time. I did the rest of my posts for my comic for the
So you
year.
know how your internet has given up on you?
Yeah.
Mid.
Oh, I need to so much art that I decided to start and have yet to finish. I need to get with. I actually need to get with Nerd. I haven't talked to him in a while, but he was supposed to make our logo, and he keeps getting bombarded with other stuff. I think I'm gonna just have to be like, dude, here's $300. Make our logo, please and thank you. We would greatly appreciate you. Oh, and uh, Munchie said she would join, but she said she had to watch some videos on it to see uh, whether or not it was something that she could like commit to. So hopefully everybody has started playing their game, with the exception of Blue. My God, the silence is deafening. I think we may have lost him, Blue. I genuinely think we may have lost him. Let me see if I can find some dope music. Actually, you know what? I'm gonna listen to Kingdom Hearts today. I'm feeling. I'm gonna play my favorite Kingdom Hearts 2 song. Hmm. Oh, good. They don't have the HD version. Hate that one. Kind of ruins it. Actually ruins the entire song for me. So, Blue, what you got planned for today? Bit of shopping, or perhaps going and get a manicure, or just lounging about in your home? Oh, dude, that sucks. Well, Blue, it's specifically the boss battle music for the Nobodies. Oh, that's fair. I mean, you gotta get ready for your date anyhow, man. Don't worry about it. We'll be here. I hope your date goes well. I hope it sparks into something amazing for you. And if it doesn't, I hope you have fun just the same. I think here, Blue, at some point I'm gonna hit the gym. Probably about, actually, probably in the next couple hours. Um, I wasn't really gonna get on and do a whole lot today, so I just need to get back into a routine of getting on camera. Sometimes, dude, you don't need like a club ticket or anything, man. Just take a walk around the park. Get to know the person. Besides, the club muddies all that up anyway with the loud music. You'd be like, "What? Huh? I can't hear you. Yeah, this is a pretty dope track." Conversations gets muddled. At least this way, you'll be able to really get to know this person, and hopefully end up in a better situation than the last one. But I'm saying this as a person who has done this often. Don't jump into anything super fast because that only leads to ruin, and you end up doing the same things that the other person did to you. And then your relationship fails. And that ain't pretty. Nobody likes that. Let me see if I can adjust that. It's nice to know that everybody appeals to the sensibilities of the 10 o'clock hour. I actually miss going to clubs. They were quite fun. Were being the optimal word. I'm still single, so I can get away with it, but I wanna look good, so I'm gonna hit the gym and try to lose this 40 pounds of quarantine weight that I picked up. I actually started shopping for clothes again. I was like, oh, I would look good in that. I would look good in that. And then I remember, oh yeah, I'm 40 pounds overweight. It's just, probably shouldn't be buying clothes right now. Yo, people are still leaving like comments on uh these Kingdom Hearts 2 tracks. But see, Blue, it's not for everybody. Also, it's a little different for women because uh, you're not the customer. There's no appropriate way to say that. You are effectively not the customer at the club. You're the bait. Men are the customers. Yeah, it's nice to know my family's been looking at my Facebook posts. Thank you. I appreciate you guys. But yeah, like women, women are not and probably never will be the customers in a club scenario. You are literally there to get men in there to spend their money on you to the club. We had to pay absorbatively high fees to get in the door, and then the drinks are like 20, $10, $20 per glass. And if we want to talk to any of y'all, we have to pay $10, $20 for you, and then $10, $20 for me, just to sit there and have a conversation where there's a 50-50 chance that you're gonna walk off with the drink, or 1 and 1 million chance that I pique your interest and start talking about something you want to talk about. So to be fair, it's not fun for anyone unless you're just going there for music. In which case, eh, I will still do it though. That's if that's what I have to do to find a potential mate, then I'm gonna do what I need to do. That's just that's just the way that we made this rat race. I have to put on my other glove. I actually need to get some new ones. This one's the one of the dogs chewed on it quite a bit. I mean, it still fits. It's just chewy. It's been chewed, washed, chewed, and stretched. Sigh. Oof. I think this week. Oh, have either one of you watched Dave Chappelle's new comedy special? Because I watched that yesterday, as a matter of fact, and I thought it was good. I thought it was really good, and um, I don't know. Like listening to what he had to say. Um, I can see why the community that he's talking about would be thoroughly upset. Um, but I will also say he didn't say anything wrong about that community. Uh, Explicitly wrong because a lot of them punch down, and it's really kind of fucked up. But I would recommend that you watch it, as I often do. I think everybody should watch it. At least that way you'll get a understanding of what he's saying, and then you can make a judgment call. But a lot of a lot of it requires somebody to go into it with an open mind, as all of his stuff does. And I kind of agree with him. I really do. I'll be honest with you. as a person that runs in those circles, I 100% agree with what he had to say on the situation. Because when he actually does what he does best and gives you the punchline for the entire thing at the beginning, and then he circles around back to it. But a lot of individuals that watched it were like, "Oh well, he's this kind of person. He's admitted it, so I don't care what he has to say after that." So it is what it is. It just boils down to how open minded anybody's gonna be. Um, I actually, if I could give a critique, I think his mistake, uh, genuinely, was using a identifier and then saying that he subscribed to it. But as far as and then trying to explain his logic behind it, but his brand of comedy is not for small thinking anyway. So he's gonna be damned if he does, and damned if he doesn't. But it's really good. It's really good. I think everybody should watch it. I think you should watch it when you get an opportunity, if you have an opportunity today, because it's really fucking good. It's not like his like 45-minute anger uncle uh, rant that he did, I think year and a half ago, because that one was, I mean, it wasn't bad, but I was like, ooh, goodness. Let's see what else happened. Uh, oh, I started writing again. I think what I'm gonna try to do is like every time I complete an issue, I'm gonna write another issue. So I'm like, I think 10 issues ahead of myself. I think. I'm not 100% sure. But the current issue I'm working on, I started writing it, and I think what I'm gonna do, because like when I started writing the first 2 pages, um, like the first page I wrote, I was like, okay, well I don't know how to start this, and I started typing, and the first thing that I typed out was a little girl sitting in a chair, and I was like, no, that's not what I want to do. So then I went back and I started rewriting it, and what I did I did this by accident. I was like, I had one person sitting in a throne room, and then I had another person sitting in a pilot seat, and then like in my head, both of them are looking down at the next panel, and the person that they're both thinking about is in the next panel, and then I went back to them sitting in their respective chairs, and then on like the next page, it's the guy sitting in a throne room yelling at his subjects, and at the end of that page, it's them sitting in their respective chairs, and then on the following page, it's the guy in the pilot seat coming up with a plan, and then it goes back to, and I give him an extra page to talk about how he's going to come up with the plan, and then I end it with them sitting in the chair. So I think that's how I'm going to do that issue. It's just going back and forth between them sitting in a chair, their respective chairs, and doing something that furthers that plan. And I came up with it by accident because I didn't know what else to do. but that's like a ways off. But it's like I'm like writing it. It's kind of like let me. I have to share it with you. Let me read it to you. And I apologize for like the panel directions because it's super weird. Um, there's like page one, Tencent sitting in his throne, angry and fuming. Panel, excuse me, page one, panel one. So it's like a box here. It's Tencent sitting in his throne, angry and fuming. Panel two, Damascus sitting in the captain's chair, looking pensive. And then a horizontal panel with Venus, Hikaru, Nami traveling through checkpoints. And then panel 4, Tencent is angry and his line is, "Why can't you locate her? Where are my hoods?" And then the final panel of the page is Damascus is calm, and there are two speaking lines in that panel. So he's expelling Dragonkin and hunting my mother. Why? And Hanel responds, and it's going to be like a little floating bubble, so she's not actually in the frame. And she responds, according to a few friends we have in the council, he wants to kill off Lord Corey's heirs. And then it's a different page, and then it's the first panel, and a picture of Hanel sitting on the control panel, on the captain's control panel, and the two are facing each other, so it's like my back is turned, so I'm like Damascus, and the camera's facing this way, and she's sitting off over here, having a conversation, or having the conversation, and her response is he wants to keep the throne pure. He probably plans to either breed her against her will. Hanel's response is, no, Mandrake is there, he'll harvest her. And then the second panel is Damascus doesn't understand what this means. So he's like, harvest. And so this is calling back to something that we did at the very start of all of this, where Hanel's eggs were harvested. So she knows what that means, and the audience knows what that means, sort of, kind of. So she just gets up and walks away. So that's a little panel there. So she gets up and walks away. The following panel is the hand like grabbing, and then I'm gonna do a shot of Hanel's face where she's in tears because she's having to relive that moment, and Damascus is behind her, like doing this, got his head cocked, and the bottom panel is just him letting go of her hand, and then I'm gonna have 3 panels underneath that, or 2 more panels underneath that, and the page, and it's panel where Damascus turns to his crew, and he asks, well, what pirate contacts do we have? And Hanel's sister Danny responds by saying 100 of them, or hundreds of them. And then the following panel is Hanel turning around, but Damascus is still speaking, so there's going to be like a little floating bubble there. And he asks, how many of them do we trust? And
Hanel's response is, none of them. They're pirates. They only speak the language of bounties. Which is her way of saying they only talk money. That's it. Don't, like, you shouldn't trust any of these people for any reason unless you're paying them really well, and even then, don't trust them. Then on the next page, um, Hanel's wiping her tears, and Damascus turns to her, asking what we should do, because uh, his response is, "Well, what should we do, Lady Lafitte?" And the next panel is Hanel, just trying to make herself presentable. So she picks herself up. First mate, open a channel to the Thin White Duke. And then it's just going to be a panel of uh, Danny's lips grinning. And she asks, are you looking to cash in a favor? And it's going to be so on her it's going to just be a picture of her face. And so you'll see bubbles coming from her mouth, and then you'll see the response, which is Hanel. So Hanel's basic response is, no, tell him a king wishes to parley. He has a deal or two to make with them. And Danny's response is, I first or second, Captain. And then the following panel is just a picture of Damascus's face, and he's grinning. He's like, Captain, just Captain. First mate. His response is, Captain, first mate. One rank, shared. And then the following panel is a bigger one, because it's a little bit more intense between the two of them. And it's going to be Damascus and Hanel kind of sharing, like, hey babe, hey babe, kind of look with each other. And then, so one of the things I'm introducing is code switching between the two of them because of where they are now, sort of in their relationship. So the code switching is where I'm at in what's drawn and what's posted. They're gonna start code switching. I'm introducing it there, but it's gonna be more important here and for the rest of the story. So they do this thing when they start. They do this thing where they're like, my prince, and his response is, your grace, because she's a duchess. So that's how their code switching starts. So that's the context of this next panel real quick. So she walks up to him and she goes, my king, and his response is still, your grace. That's their signal to each other that he's no longer being a king right now, and that she will not tolerate. And they have this agreement between the two of them. When you're a king, you're king, and I'll obey. But when we're doing other stuff and you don't turn it off, I'm not going to be pleased. So that's where that's coming from. So the next panel from that is showing her leaving the bridge, and I think the way I'm going to shoot it is her having a super huge smile on her face and blushing because she's super into it. And her response is from her her line is, now it's shared. Danny, tell me when the Duke responds, and her sister is gonna have a floating bubble, and all she's gonna say is aye aye. And then the seventh panel, going back into what I was doing with it for the last page shows him just sitting in his chair, wearing a wearing a serious face, and then the following panel is Tencent sitting on a throne, angry, and there's just going to be floating bubbles around his head with his advisors saying, "We don't need, you know, we do not need the queen, sire. She has siblings and cousins." And then another advisor, which is also another floating bubble. "The king has made it very clear that the queen is who we need." And that was the last thing that I wrote. So I think I'm gonna keep going back and forth between the two guys sitting in the chair. But I think it's really, really good too. I just don't know what to put there, like how to keep it going, because I wanna kind of keep this one short. What I really want to do is make like my wordy comics or my wordy issues. I want to keep them to like 15 pages, and then my so that I have like a word limit. And what I want to do with my um, action pages is I want to kind of make those 18 to 20 pages. It's that way I'm spending more time doing the stuff that I like to do, which is drawing the action-y stuff, because all of the other stuff is like world building. And one of the biggest mistakes that I made, which is why I asked you explicitly for help, is all the world building stuff I got really, really lost in. Like super duper lost in. It's part of the reason why I don't draw a whole bunch of backgrounds, because I'll spend more time on the backgrounds than actually doing the page. Actually, this song would be like a really, really good soundtrack for the issue, just based off of what I'm thinking about doing with it. But what I want to do is like have this back and forth, and between these two kings, and how they're planning to fight each other. What I wanted to do with Damascus is have him start fully embracing the piracy and the skullduggery of it. Well, it has to be, because I mean, I have to tell you, so I'm sorry. Spoiler. I'm going to spoil you. I'm sorry. Damascus' father has passed. He has died. I killed him. I killed him off. So, I really, really, really hate that I did it, but I'm also glad that I did it, but I really, really hate that I did it. It was really, really difficult for me to do. So, yeah, I'm sorry. I'm really sorry. It was either that or his mother, and I kind of need his mother for some more stuff. I really kind of do. Don't be mad at me, I'm sorry. So, when and that's why the code switching is super important. I'm not going to tell you how he dies, but I am going to tell you that he does. And the issue is coming up really, 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 really soon. It's going to be a very difficult issue for me to draw, because he was the very first character I created for this whole thing. He was originally supposed to be doing what Damascus is doing now, so don't at me, bro. That being said, though, the way that the kingdoms. Did you go and put mascara on just so you can go ugly cry? Please don't put mascara on so that you have to ugly cry. um, I digress. He's not the only one that dies. Quite a few characters within this arc um, meet a very unhappy end or brutal end. I'm not going to tell you who. Quite a few of them get the axe. But anyway, I'm only telling you that one for context. So, uh, Damascus is now king, and in the middle of him becoming king, his relationship with Hanel is starting to take off. So they made an agreement to each other that when he is doing king stuff, he's gonna do king stuff, and she's a lioness, so she doesn't answer to him. So he is the king, and she is a lioness, and she answers to his mother. So they are in two separate sides of a spectrum. So she doesn't answer to him, he doesn't answer to her, unless in extreme emergencies, which we're in the middle of an extreme emergency. So she has to answer to him. So when they're doing their relationship stuff, they have to, collectively agree to separate work life and have a work life balance. So there you go. So code switching. So at this point, the code switching is super important. So I'm gonna have one king, Damascus, start embracing the job of being a king and leading his people into battle, and a false king, the other king who's looking for the queen. The way that the Thorulian system works is, depending on what time of the year it is, one ruler sits on the throne, and only one ruler at a time. So there is a small loophole. The queen goes off and does her 10th month stint away from the kingdom or out of public life, and then the White Parade happens, where she's marched back up to the throne and she's crowned, and then she takes over, and this whole cycle repeats. During that time, the queen leaves or does whatever it is that she feels she needs to do, and turns over the reins of the kingdom to the king. The king dies, unfortunately, during his time, which is super uncommon, but during his time as regent or monarch at that particular point. So she goes into her banishment automatically when it's time to start that particular process, but she can't be crowned king, or she can't be crowned without a king there to give her the crown. And since Corey is dead at this point, that means that her son, her eldest son, has to take over. But she has to crown him. The other king needs her to crown him. She already gave him temporary regency because of his standing within the council. He's the longest sitting person on the council. So by law, she has to turn the kingdom over to him because she's still within the middle of her exile. But he needs her to come back and acknowledge that he is the king when he gives her the crown, because if he doesn't do that, his power base crumbles. Damascus needs to be there to give her the crown so that she can acknowledge her son officially as king. So we have these two men trying to find the queen so that one of them can give her the crown and take over when it's his time to take over. So that's what this is about right now, is these two men coming to blows. One guy who doesn't want to be king in the first place, and the other guy who just wants power for power's sake, but doesn't understand what it means. So that's what I think that's what I'm gonna do. That's the thought process I had in my head. I'm rambling. I'm sorry. But I think that's what's going to happen. I just don't know how I'm gonna get there, if that makes sense. Well, I mean, I think it's more of a, yeah, I guess a race to find the queen is the appropriate term there, because if the other guy, if the false king finds her, he is going to kill Damascus's little brother. He wants to get rid of all of Corey's heirs to get rid of the dragon blood within the lineage. So it is definitely imperative that that Damascus finds his mother before this false king Tencent does, because as soon as he does, he now has the ability to decide who gets to sit on the throne, not only in perpetuity, of course, but whether or not her bloodline stays quote unquote pure. As he was one of the many people that weren't pleased when Corey took the throne in the first place, or was given the throne in the first place. So what he wants to do is to make Thalazar an ethno state. He wants all of the other Homo sapien superiors that aren't of Catra blood out of the kingdom. He wants them all gone. He thinks that it's made them weak, when in reality, the human collaboration there is what has made these people strong. Damascus just wants to save his mom and his little brother. Like, he just found out that his dad died. He doesn't know how severe everything is. He just knows that the queen is now on the run and that she needs his help. But he's naive to the fact that, oh yeah, like, these people are out here trying to kill my babies, and I don't have any way to properly defend them all. So there's that. The other thing is, at this point, if the queen is not saved, she can't appoint another person to sit on the throne. The queen can put anybody on the throne next to her. But the kingdom and the council in particular have one real modus operandi, and that is a Delminos will always sit on that throne. And she and her two sisters are the currently highest ranking Delminos left in the family. And that's why one of the advisors was like, well, she's got sisters, bro. Like, because they already killed off the older brother, or their older brother, um, in a previous issue, which, in all honesty, was probably a really stupid move, but this guy's not thinking on all cylinders. He's just like, get rid of this asshole. He's not with me. He's against me. Kill him. And so they do. Um, but in the case of the two females, just like they did to Honnold, they could harvest their eggs and breed a heir apparent to the Delminos family and raise him in secret, and then reveal him to the world when it's time for him to take the throne, and they would have a puppet king. So that's what Honnold is kind of implying by saying, they could just harvest her. They don't really need all of her. They just need her alive long enough to take her eggs from her. So I was trying to be dark without being like super dark, but I guess it really is a race against a race to find the queen. So I'm pretty pleased with that part. And I think for the rest of this issue, because it's like the last issue in the particular volume that I'm writing, I think that's how I'm gonna tell that story, is just jump back and forth about these two guys sitting in a chair. I'm gonna make I'm gonna draw David Bowie into my comic again. I'm super excited about that. Like, he already made an appearance once, but like I'm gonna actually use David Bowie and be like, thank you, David Bowie, I love you, but you made such great music. Like, I already have his meeting in my head. Don't laugh at me, I'm super excited about it. Like, I actually drew him in like a couple of years before he had passed away, and then when he passed away, it's like, oh no, not David Bowie, no. But a lot of mainstream comics get away with putting Barack Obama in their comics, so I'm gonna put David Bowie in mine. David Bowie, and I want to put I kind of want to put Dave Grohl in there too. Just like have all of these rockers just sitting around David Bowie and just be like, so, how can we help you, Your Majesty? I know, I just like saying that. Like, don't laugh at me. What I really, really need to do though is start focusing on the war. Oh, okay. So I've been thinking really, really hard about Honnold's daughter, and I'm gonna kill her off. I don't feel bad about it, but I'm gonna kill her off. She's gonna go out in a really cool, awesome way, but I'm gonna kill her off. Oh, here's the thing. Here's the thing. This is part of the reason why I'm gonna do it. The original intent for that character was to be a catalyst for the two characters to kind of get their shit together. And given the circumstances that I now have written them into, um, I don't really need her anymore. If that sounds bad. Like what I was thinking about doing was giving Hano some time to like be a mom with her, because I was thinking about like once we save the queen and all that stuff. Um, I was gonna do a 2 year time skip. So right now, um, as things stand in the comic, she is 5 years old. So it would give her and Hanal time to be like a little family, and um, Hanal would get to do the domestic stuff, hold down a job, and take care of her daughter, and live a small life of peace. Like just cut out her, little slice of pie. And what I wanted to do from there is like in the middle of her domestic bliss. Jeez, that got loud. Which? Oh, it's playing the whole soundtrack now. Hold on a sec. In the middle of her well-earned domestic bliss, some things occur, and um, good old Mandrake can't leave shit alone. You can't be happy. Comes in and starts trying to wreck stuff. Like these two have been living like there's no war. Meanwhile, Damascus is being king, and he's been king for 2 years. And things have been pretty good. They're not quite what they were, when Corey was running shit, but they're getting there, and people see the potential of their new king, and they're pretty pleased. And his approval ratings are like super, super duper through the roof. The war is not going great, but it's not going bad. There's just a bit of a stalemate, but you know, he's doing all right. He could be doing better. Um, what I'm thinking about doing is having Damascus be like, you know what, I'm gonna go to the front line. I have some things that I can do out there, and go and yeah, messing things up. Um, and while he's away, some shit goes down, and uh, the city's not defenseless, of course, um, but it's not fending for itself very well because Damascus isn't there. Um, so while things are going down in the city, Hanel steps in where Damascus would have normally been and starts, bolstering things up. I feel like I'm speaking to the music right now. But she starts bolstering the defenses and starts leading everybody to a victory at the cost of her daughter's life. So that's what that's how she's gonna die. Like, oh, like my little 7 year old is like wielding the sword. I'm so proud. I'm such a proud mom. Other little kids are out there helping their parents fight off stuff too. So it's like, oh, oh my God, who lets a 7 year old and oh, this is an army of adolescents just running around wrecking these giant robots' ass, this is eating these people's lunches, and then Yeah, yeah. There's a bunch of like a mob of children just casting magical spells and like, get out of my home and leave my mommy alone. And all these parents are like, huh, that's that's why we've been sending our kids to school. That was the reason. So that we could watch this. All right, all right, yeah, okay, that makes sense. Somebody was thinking ahead, apparently. But like, something goes wrong as it often does. Best laid plans oft go astray, and uh, amongst the dead are some kids, a whole bunch of adults, obviously, and our little 7-year old. So now we have an angry mother mad at the king because the king wasn't there to defend the kingdom, and the king is like, dude, I lost an arm today, and I lost a whole child today, and everybody's like super mad, and you know, Hanel's like, you know what, I lost my kid too. This wasn't King's fault. Also, you guys, we kind of put our kids out there. We knew it was gonna happen. We all knew what was gonna go down. We really shouldn't be blaming the king. The king should have defended us. Yeah, he should have been here. He knew how to stop them. And she's like, cool, but the king's daughter died today. Maybe we should probably have a little empathy for that. Trying to be the voice of reason. And that's, I think, how she's going to start her journey to become a pretty awesome queen herself. But that was always the intention. I just didn't know how I was going to get there, and I think that's how I'm going to get her there. I think that's how I want to do that, is to make it so that the loss of her daughter makes her realize I have an entire kingdom that I should probably be doing a whole lot more for. And then I think what's going to happen from there is I kind of want them to deepen their relationship as things go on. And Yoko murdered in this one? Oh, yeah, she did do that one. Okay, yeah, never mind. I love this picture so much. By the way, have you finished Kingdom Hearts 3 Remind yet? Well, that was her intended purpose. I was originally going to kill her and Jean. You haven't finished Remind yet? Oh, this picture's kind of a spoiler then. You really should. Kairi is pretty awesome. She's like Kingdom Hearts 2 Sora, but she has clearly a lot stronger power. Like her playthrough is actually really fun. Okay, here's so next year is Kingdom Hearts' 20th anniversary, and they're like, "Oh, we're gonna announce two games." It's like, okay, cool. Kingdom Hearts 4 and Kyrie better be playable. Kyrie better be playable. So everybody gets really mad. Everybody's like super mad at Nomura about that, but I'm kind of like, I get it. I really do. Hear me out on this one. It's not Kyrie's story. It's it's never been Kyrie's story. It's most definitely not Riku's either. Riku is there to juxtapose Sora. Sora is the key of light, and Riku has always been the key of darkness. And he moved away from the darkness to be in the twilight. So he's in the middle. But it has always, always, always been Sora's story. Um, Out of all of the characters in the game that we've had to deal with, Kyrie being the last one that we get to play with makes a whole lot of sense. Because she's still a princess of hearts. She's still, even at the end of the game, hasn't given up her powers to another princess. She technically isn't supposed to be a Keyblade wielder either, but she is, and I think they did that to her, honestly, because the fans wanted it so much. She's always supposed to have been a damsel. That was her role. She was never really even supposed to be on the adventure. It's the thing about it is, if we were to juxtapose Kingdom Hearts with Star Wars, clearly Luke is Sora, and Han is supposed to be Riku. Princess Leia is supposed to be Princess Kairi. Make sure we call her by her proper name, Princess Kairi. But we didn't find out that Princess Leia had force powers until the Emperor was dead. And then, the whole Disney bought him up and got rid of all the expanded universe. Cool. Okay, we get it. But all of Leia's all of Leia's feats and amazing things came after the Empire was gone. So, in the case of Kingdom Hearts, Xehanort is done. Xehanort is gone. Our trilogy has ended. Now, if she in this next set of games is not treated with the dignity and respect that she's deserved and that she is owed, and the potential that she has shown with this gameplay that they let us, this little boss fight that they let us have, if she is not on the same level as the bros, that's where I'm pulling my support. Because Leia was awesome. She did a whole lot. If we go look at the expanded universe, she put Han Solo in his place. She got put in her place by Han Solo. The two found a working mesh, and she went off and trained and became a incredibly powerful Force user. And she toppled a secondary attempt at controlling the Empire. And then she went off and she had some babies. And she started teaching them the ways of the Force. And then Luke opened up a school and she became a teacher at the school while simultaneously running a kingdom herself. And she still found time to participate in 3 other subsequent wars after that. She was a babe. a boss babe. She can do it. And if Kyrie doesn't get the same kind of treatment, I'm gonna lose my fucking mind because she has already proven she can hang with these boys. In fact, personally, Kingdom Hearts 4, they need to get rid of Donald and Goofy. They really need to like I love Donald and Goofy, but they need to go back and they need to protect their king. And if we do anything with Mickey, Mickey should be running around with Donald and Goofy. But the for the rest of Sora's interactions, since this is all Sora's game, it should be Sora, Kairi, and Riku. Sora is the muscle, Kairi is the heart, and Riku is the shield. If we're gonna put roles on them, Sora is the everyman. He can jump back and forth. He can do the magic and he can do the ass whoopings. Uh, Kairi, magic based. She should be strictly magic based. And Riku needs to be like your tank and DPS. But they need to get rid of Donald and Goofy. Sideline those motherfuckers for a game and give our three Keybladers their room to shine. And make it so that you can switch in between them, so that you can play as Kyrie. But if we don't get something like that in Kingdom Hearts 4, I'm gonna just watch from the sidelines just like everybody else. That's my rant. I'm gonna get off my soapbox. I'm gonna stay over here now. I want to listen to Dearly Beloved, the swing version. Also, I think they kind of did her dirty, um, making like her game be a music game. I was a little disappointed with that. I was really disappointed with that. But she did get the most awesome opening ever. I will say though, her version of Dearly Beloved is probably the most hopeful. Song slaps. Not gonna lie, this song absolutely slaps. From Hackles raised when you said get rid of Donald and Goofy, but then I got I get why you said it because it would be nice to see them work together. But really, I'm not interested in Kyrie as a Keyblade wielder. When I get to Remind, I play as her, but really, eh. I mean, to be fair to your sentiment there, everybody in the community kind of feels that way too. Like her, the one thing I okay, so one thing I'm gonna complain about is she is not dressed for she's not dressed for this. I mean be real up front. She is not dressed for this. And the camera angles. Like I'm a guy that sits here and draws anime booty on the internet. I draw anime titties and I draw anime ass, and those camera angles are not appropriate at all. I'm like, hey guys, look, we get it. This is a Disney game, but you can't be putting your girl out there like that. It's a little sus, a little uncomfortable. It is an adolescent young lady. Here in America, I'm saying here in America for a specific reason because the age and consent over there is much lower. I, it's a culture thing. I don't care, wholeheartedly. Um, Disney is an American company, and even they would have been like, "Yo, that's a short ass skirt. Why is she jumping and flipping and stuff?" And you can even tell like there are points where you're flying through the darkness, and she's literally got her legs up like this in front of the camera, and you're like, bro, like why don't you just do it from the side, man? Like let's not even make that a thing. And that's how you know she's not dressed for it. Um, I'm not saying that she shouldn't be wearing what she's wearing. That's not what I'm saying at all. What I am saying though is that you have other you have a 360 view, and the way that they dressed her, or Nomura specifically, the way that he dressed her, she wasn't meant to participate in action. All of the other women characters in this game, they are dressed for combat. Every last one of them. Anybody that's not dressed for combat is not there. I'm looking at you, Aerith. R.I.P. Um, so I think the goal was to make her a damsel in distress throughout the course of it. But once you get to play as her and you start fighting with her and Sora, you're just kind of like, cool. You got a keyblade. You wearing Spanx under that? Cause you're fishing to show this old man all of your business. And I don't know how I should feel about that. Also, the way that they even portray her as a character, like she's clearly not doing combat stuff, and then suddenly she's shoehorned in as a member of combat, and you're like, you might want to take some fashion advice from Aqua there. It's Aqua, you could tell from the very inception she was made to fight, and now we're gonna have her go off and train with Aqua to become a better Keyblade wielder. Cool. Um, you might want to take her to the fashion store and have her meet the guy that does the battle stuff because you need something a little bit more appropriate for a fight. So I think 100% that she was just supposed to be a damsel the entire time. Also, the thing that messed it up is in Kingdom Hearts 2, Riku gives her a Keyblade, and everybody was like, "Yay!" And that's what sparked it. It's like, oh well, she has a Keyblade now. Now we have to deal with that. So I still remain on my little soapbox. If in Kingdom Hearts 4 she's not out there slicing and dicing, this venture with Kyrie like needs to end. Like either shit or get off the pot. And actually, going back to it real quick, I think it would have been super hilarious instead of Sora if it were Kyrie that was in Smash. It would have been like, huh, didn't see that one coming at all. That one's left field. Good job, guys. Good job. You pulled a fast one on us. Oh my god, these people are super mad about. A lot of people are super mad about Sora being in Smash now. You know who else they really wanted? They wanted to get Master Chief. A lot of people wanted Master Chief. I'm like, I don't even understand what he would be able to do in Smash. I don't even think he would be able to do a lot. Yeah, I don't know. They wanted Crash Bandicoot too, so dude, he's okay. So they were talking about the poll, and it's like how this is okay. Let's call this what it is. This is a children's game where you're effectively taking action figures and just. I mean, I was uh, pleased when they got Sonic in, and that was in like Melee. Sonic was in Melee, and I was like, oh, Sonic the Hedgehog, sweet. This is great. I don't need anything else. Thank you, Nintendo, for being super chill and letting Sonic into your game. And then uh, I think it was Brawl, whichever one that came out after that. It was like, so we're gonna put Mega Man. I was like, oh, Mega Man. All right, okay, cool. Thanks. Mega Man, Sonic. And then they were like, we're not done yet. We're gonna put Cloud in. And I was like, oh, Mega Man, Cloud, and Sonic. Didn't need anything else after that. And there, and since then, everybody's like, "Oh, I want Sora." I'm like, "Yeah, that would be cool. That's never gonna happen. He's a legal nightmare." Oh, I want Master Chief. Like, Master Chief, dude. Like, fucking Master Chief. I want Master Chief. Master Chief would die. It's like, well, okay, cool, but like, why though? Just cause it would be a middle finger to Sony. Okay, but why though? It'd be really good. And then you see him like they have him, I think, in a Tekken game that's only available on the 360. He's not a good character. He can shoot things. Okay, well we got a lot of shooty characters, so that I guess he would fit there. But he can punch things. Okay, so you're gonna have to pick a lane, shoot or punch. Also, he can use a sword. Okay, pick a lane. Shooty guy, punchy guy, sword guy. Which one are we getting? Well, I want them all. I was like, that's not how Smash works. Never been how Smash works. When they got Sonic the Hedgehog in there, he was a punchy guy that runs really really fast. And then when when they were like Cloud and Sephiroth, it's like okay, sword guys. They fit into the sword guy thing, and they do sword guy stuff. They just have extra things that they can do. And then you ask them, well, okay, so why do you want Sora? Sora's got magic. He can fly. It's like okay, all right. He does air combos. All right, well that makes sense. And this was when Kingdom Hearts 3, no, not 365 over 2 days. I think it was I think it was Birth by Sleep had just come out. So everybody's like, oh, we want Sora from Birth by Sleep because then he could just do wall jumps. It's like, oh wow, actually that would not be a bad idea. He's got versatility. Master Chief, run and shoot, throw a grenade, run and shoot, throw a grenade, run and shoot, throw a grenade. I actually think that they did Mega Man a disservice out of it. All of the fighters that are in this game, Mega Man is the one that did got done the worst because Marvel vs. Capcom's version of Mega Man, perfect. He's a punch guy. He just happens to shoot. He punches. This version he just do pew 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 do pew pew pew. Meanwhile, they're like Sora and everybody's like yay, and everybody on the other side is boo. I didn't get my guy. Like, you know who I really would have wanted? I wanted Billy and Jimmy Lee from Double Dragon. That's who I wanted. Billy and Jimmy Lee from Double Dragon. But you know who I got instead? Ryu and Ken from Street Fighter. I'm cool. I could pretend that they're Billy and Jimmy Lee. I'm fine with that. Hell, we got Doom Guy as a Mii fighter. Doom Guy. Doom Guy. Doom Guy's awesome. And he's a runny shooty guy. So technically speaking, they got their Master Chief. Because that's exactly how the Master Chief would play. Run, shoot, run, shoot, run, shoot. That's it. Just, ugh. Bah. Just, that kind of thing just grinds my gears to a point I can't even describe, because it's a game about action figures that fight other action figures. Like, fucking hell, dude. It's fucking ridiculous. You're not gonna get everything you want. I don't get to have my Billy and Jimmy Lee. Master Chief's never gonna be in the game. Ever. Takes too much time and effort. They had to get through one legal nightmare to get the most requested character into the game, and that's the hill people want to die on. You shouldn't try, honestly. I'll be the first one to tell you that. Just do your thing, man. Also, this dude has been working on this game for like almost 20 years now. Like, sequel after sequel that he's had to pump out. And he doesn't even work for Nintendo anymore. He hasn't worked for Nintendo in 10 years, and this guy came out and was like, I'm in charge of making Smash Bros for you guys. So here you go. And then he did it for 3 years. Put himself in a hospital several times. And he's finally at the end, and he's like, I'm done. I did this last one. 89 characters. I kind of feel for the guy. 20 years of service, don't even work for the company that I'm making the game for anymore. But you know what? I'm gonna do it anyway because I care. I care that much. I wish I had that kind of balls to go back to the company that I don't work for and make a game for a company that I don't work for, in conjunction with the company that I do work for. So just so that my fans can be happy. There are Americans that won't do that kind of shit. That's dedication. With that being said, though, 2 weeks, in 2 weeks, I'm gonna have to find. Oh, not even 2 weeks, like a week and a half. I'm gonna have to find a copy. Not a copy. I don't know why I said a copy. I'm gonna have to find a Nintendo Switch, a proper Nintendo Switch, and figure out how to stream it to my computer so that I can fucking play that shit on stream. Cause I love that shit. I love that shit. This shit's, oh, just get you right there. So excited, so excited, so excited. Oh, and then Nickelodeon. Let's talk about Nickelodeon real quick. Nickelodeon is like, oh, we're gonna make our own Smash Brothers. It's like, okay, I guess if you feel like you have to, I I guess it's not very good. I've seen some people play it. It's not very good. But they call themselves throwing shade at Nintendo. Like, oh no, your game, you disappointing your fans, and then they're like, Sora, bitch, get out of here. Clearly, they didn't know who the fuck they were dealing with. Oh, you didn't know about that? Hold on, hold on. Let me see if I can find the tweet. 'Cause that shit was funny. So Nickelodeon, they have like their own little Smash Brothers for their properties, and oh, that sounds interesting. Dearly beloved evil. What is it called? Oh, I just saw it like a couple of minutes ago. Jesus Christ. Oh, there it is. It's called Nickelodeon All Stars. So if you go to the Nickelodeon All Stars theme song, or the Nickelodeon All Stars Twitter page, they had made a Twitter um, response to Nintendo's reveal of the final Smash Brothers. Like, oh, you're gonna disappoint your fans again. And they may have taken it down because it was reported on like a couple of days ago. Yeah, they took it down because they got ratioed for it. That's so funny. So they took it down after the reveal of Sora. Yeah, they took it down. They took it down after they got ratioed so hard. They took it down. It's like, oh, okay, all right, well, never mind, guys. Apparently, they do listen to their fans. But yeah, now Nickelodeon has their own Super Smash Brothers type game, and it doesn't look that great. And I'm not that interested. As see, they don't have the swagger of Wendy's. Like if you ever want to follow a funny um Twitter, like a funny like uh corporate Twitter account, Wendy's. Wendy's is the business. Whoever is running that social media, he, she, they are savage. They are absolutely savage. Them and McDonald's, they're always going back and forth with Burger King. and it's so funny. It is so funny. I have to say that it's one of the few corporate entities. I'm like, yeah, all right, cool, all right, I see you, I see you. Oh goodness, what time is it? Oh, it's almost 12 o'clock. All right, I am gonna log out until it's time to do the show with Bounty today. Oh, I think Munchie is on. I'm not sure what's going on there. Anyway, I'm gonna hop off until about 2 ish, and then gonna chill with Bounty, and then I'll probably get back on my own account and do my thing a thing, 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 thing. But it was fun sitting there chatting with you. But we're not gonna go out on this. That sounds so sad. So sad. We're gonna go out. We're gonna go out on some upbeat music. There we go. This also is a part of the Kingdom Hearts universe. So, but I will catch up with you guys later. Uh, it'll probably be here like a couple hours anyway. But I will see you guys around. You guys take care of yourselves and each other, and have have a wonderful time.